Wondering what crypto miner hosting is and why you need it? If you're tired of dealing with high heat, constant noise, and skyrocketing electric bills from running your crypto miners at home, we've got the solution. Welcome to Terra Hosting. We make crypto mining hassle-free. Our top-tier facilities ensure your operations run smoothly with an impressive average 99% uptime. Need help? Our 24/7 support team and repair services are always ready to assist you. Got a broken machine? We offer RMA assistance to get you back on track as fast as possible. While you wait for your unit, Terra Hosting will loan you a similar model so that you don't lose hash rate, keeping your profits coming in. Looking to expand your farm? Our clients get significant discounts on mining hardware. Make the smart move to Terra Hosting. Visit terrahosting.io today and experience stress-free crypto mining.
We are so good at this. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm like, oh, we'll get it. We'll get it. How's it going, Max?
It's going good. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. So, like, you know how it is. Like, the man behind listen, my production director, he's just not doing so good. His name's Jimmy. Jimmy, I gotta fire your brother. Like, they ain't doing so good here. But yes,
I feel your pain.
so,
I feel your pain.
yes. So something I've wanted to do more recently is like bring on guests, right? Like with the live streams, I think it's much more enjoyable, like yourself today. And it's like, man, the setup I used last week won't work this week when you have guests on board.
I hear you, and people are like, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, why don't you just leave everything the same?" I did, and it doesn't work again. It's yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, it is something that, like, for me, I'm like, okay, well, there's a fine line between how do you make it easy for guests to join versus like technical side. So while StreamYard is pricey, I'm like, it's easy. Like, it makes it easy. You join, you're good. It does the trick. So awesome. Well, cool. Well, thanks guys for joining us today. Thanks, Max, for coming on today. Today we are chatting. It's crazy to think we're chatting GPUs, Max. We're talking GPUs. Now, listen, this is nothing new on Max's channel. On my channel, we like sprinkle it in a little bit in there. Yeah, how have things been for you over the last week or two from the GPU side of the world? Because that's something. If you guys are, well, first off, let's time out. Max, audience, Max. Most of you guys know each other. If not, a little icebreaker here. Max is YouTuber. Has content, YouTube channel on GPU AI rig rentals. Go check it out. Max Voltage. Joker Miner can put a link in chat. Cool. That's done. Max, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. So the last 2 weeks, God, it's changed. Like a few days like this and a few days like that. So 2 weeks ago, I had a lot of like old rentals. So I wasn't like making a ton on the old rentals. I was fully rented. So I kept hearing about all these people making all this money, and I'm like, I'm kind of stuck. So let me see what I can do. So then finally, a few started falling off. Then I was able to take advantage of it. Over the past 2 weeks, the actual amount I was making on rentals had doubled. And I still had, a number of old clients still on there. I mean, I still have a number of old rentals, no question. So I still have that. So it is what it is. I'm glad those clients have been with me all that time, and they're just taking advantage of the 6 months rentals that I offer. So,
Yeah.
but then as of 2 days ago, things started to really fall off. I had set prices like really high, and they started falling off. But I had background jobs set up. So now I'm doing a ton of pearl mining right now. I've got like 3.5 petahash of pearl mining. And so I'm making over 200 pearl a day now, along with making somewhere in the range of like 150 to 200 on, and that was like reversed before. It was like 300 to 350 on renting. And then I was making like 100 to 150 on pearl mining. So it's just it's adapting. It's adapting to the environment and trying to figure out, okay, what's the profitability of somebody renting my rig? And would I rather just mine it myself, or would I rather have them rent? So I'm trying to find a happy medium.
Yeah, no, I get it. Thank you, Joker, for posting that link in chat. Do appreciate it from Max's channel. If you guys aren't, which I imagine most of you are, go subscribe over to him. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. So for me, two things. First off, I have not jumped on the Pearl bandwagon at all. So I'm not like trying to mine Pearl. I'm not doing any background jobs. And for those of you guys not familiar, what Max is alluding to is he's running his Vast rigs like business as usual. But then when they're not rented, it's mining Pearl. It's not like same time like dual setup. It's just
No. Yeah.
opportunities to utilize his rigs when they're not being rented, which I think is great. I think the one thing I've seen is, and shout out to GPU Autopilot, is like in times like this where it's pretty wild with prices changing pretty quickly,
Yep.
being able to, with that platform, being able to set your floor, being able to set your ceiling, and then just kind of letting it ride, is really, really nice. I think I need to start making that spread larger, because these swings occur, and it's like, man, like I've gone in for my 5090s and continued to increase them, as time has gone on. But like you kind of want to have like a competitive floor as well. And those of you guys aren't familiar, like you have a floor and a ceiling. So you say, here's the minimum I'll rent my rig with, here's the maximum. And then what GPU Autopilot does is it tries to get you the most competitive price, like the highest price possible. So it's always looking, I think it's 2 to 3 minutes, is doing like a price check on the market, and then seeing like where it can put yours if yours doesn't get rented or it drops off, which happens more often than what you think. But yeah, it's been great. I always hear you say this on your live streams, but it's nice to see that like we've had some of the best weeks yet. And Pearl alludes to that. I think for me, I haven't put the energy into Pearl at all, only because of the fact of like I see it as a bubble, right? Like, and maybe I'm entirely wrong, but I've also seen and I think you're the same case. You've seen so many of these now, not as crazy as Pearl. We haven't seen higher than Ethereum profitability per GPU.
Right.
We haven't seen these platforms going insane like this. A while back, a little bit, but nothing as sane as where we are. So while it's similar, it's also been very different. What are your thoughts on like, is this just a bubble and you're not going to go crazy with it, or are you like Pearl to the moon? I'm a loyalist here.
So okay, so that's a loaded question. So do I think it's a bubble? I think that's to be determined, but my assumption is yes. I'm going under that assumption, and if it's not, sweet, that's awesome. But assuming that it is, that's okay. I'll just ride it as long as I can. So what did I do? What did I change? And there's a couple of things that I had done, but with plans that if Pearl goes away, no problem. So for instance, I took out an Octominer and threw every available GPU into it. I had 7 3060s that were still sitting around that I meant to sell. Really glad I didn't at this point. And then one 3060 Ti. Then I was like, okay, 5090s are crazy right now priced, but 5080s are actually pretty reasonable, and they get about half the hash rate. They get like 180 to 360 for a 5090 at about the same. They're like 300, and you can basically tune them down to about 340 watts. So they're a little bit less efficient than a 5090, but not that much different. So, and they're like 1,300. So I was like, okay, that financially makes sense. And what do I do with it afterwards? So what I did is I looked at my 3090s, which I've always been kind of, okay, is it time to get rid of those with how crazy priced those are right now? And how does that compare to a 5080? And not during the Pearl run, because obviously during the Pearl run, the 5080 has more CUDA cores, more tensor cores. Yes, it's going to do better, but it has less VRAM. So how does it compare during normal times, like back in March? And honestly, the 5080 was making more than a 3090. And I was like, well, wait a minute, if I can do a one for one. So right now I have the 5080s and the 3090s. I'm looking for an opportunity to move those 5080s into that 3090 rig and then put the 3090s into the Octominer so that when Pearl goes away, I'm already set up to move forward. So I'm looking for those opportunities to upgrade, but at the same time, still be profitable with Pearl and know that when Pearl goes away, I've got my offload, my basically go back to my old plan of offloading the lower end GPUs that I have. The other thing I did though, and I talked about this on my stream on Saturday, was when I got the 5080s, I'm like, I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know what my plans are for these 5080s when I'm buying them. So I basically got a $30 Best Buy membership that extended the return period from 15 days to 60 days. And I was like,
this guy,
that's cheap insurance. It's cheap insurance. My intention, and I just told you, I'm not returning them. I just told you what my intention is now. But at the time, I hadn't determined that. So I was like, I need cheap insurance. I need some comfort factor. This is cheap insurance. I'm good with this. So anyway, so that's right now the plan is to keep the 5080s and sell the 3090s, but I did have a backup plan.
Yeah. Interesting. I have now we're gonna play with StreamYard here to see if this works. Perfect. There we go. I just wanted to be a little bit bigger. That was my goal. There we go.
Size is not everything, hobbyist.
Hey, this is the only time I'll ever say I'm bigger than you, Max. So Max is like here, people. All right, I'm like down here. But so this is my last 3090 that I have left.
Oh, you're giving it away?
Oh, yeah, you wish. We are doing a giveaway. I do have a separate giveaway. We'll talk about that. Not today, but is ongoing right now. But so this is an EVGA for the Win 3 3090. And so a quick story around those. So you and I have talked over the last 2 weeks about just prices of GPUs going through the roof and selling my 3090s. And so I have sold all but one. My first 3090 that I sold, I can swap back over here. First 3090 that I sold, all this has been on eBay. eBay demand is like through the roof. So like, yes, the fees suck. Like I get it, but like you move your hardware like that. I think we can all agree. Like it just moves so much faster. So my first 3090 was a PNY with a busted, the middle fan didn't work. PNY has 3 fans on it. The middle fan didn't work. I don't even know when it stopped working because I'm not keeping an eye on it all the time. And some of those cards are like face down. So you like never see what it is, but that sold for $1,000. And then jump ahead, I listed my 5 Founders Edition 3090s. And I originally listed them all in one listing and gave discounts based off of how many people order. So I originally had them listed for $1,250 and like one night went by and it wasn't moving. And I wanted to like move these things. So I dropped it down to $1,150. And
that's gotta be, that probably was gone in an instant.
Yeah. So $1,150 Founders Editions. 2 of them went one after the other. I packed them up literally this morning. And as I'm packing them up, someone bought the remaining 3 all together. So it was like 2 and a 3. And I was like, insane. Like, I mean, just thinking this through of like how much this is. And like, so there we have like this is rounded here. You got 5, let's say 5,500 total. Now, granted, after eBay fees and stuff, let's say we're down to like 5,100. But it's like, holy cow! Like the fact that like I bought these, and people might be like, wait, and this is something I think is really important for people in our audience to understand. I bought those between 5 and 550 like 6 months ago. Now they're going for double that price. And while you're like, well, you're making good money on Vast, you're not wrong. Like the money coming in through Vast on 3090s is great, but how long is it going to take me to take one 3090 and double my money, take my upfront investment, and then also
Right.
double that? It's going to be a while, guys, and who knows how long this will last. And so this is something where like I want to instill in the community. What's up, DJ? Welcome, happy to see you.
Hey, DJ.
This is something I want to instill in the community of like, guys, when your hardware is worth, it's an asset. When your asset is worth double or triple its value, you got to get out, because you're not going to see that regardless of what it's making per day. My same thing is I just picked up a Z15 Pro last week. It was $6,300. If that goes back up to where it was in November to like 10K, 11K, I'm going to sell it. Like, even though it's making $30 to $40 a day, it's just it's instant asset value. And I just think people need to be a little bit more in tune with that.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but I love doing the rentals. And like, well, yeah, I bought my 5090s for anywhere between $2,000 and $2,500, and I could sell them for $3,500 right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not selling my 5090s because what am I going to put in its place? Now it is somewhat tempting to sell a few things. And last time I had checked, everybody else except for Micro Center had increased their prices on the RTX 5000 Pro 5000s. And that would be an interesting kind of conversion. Take the things that have gone up in value and sell those, and then buy the things that are about to go up in value and buy those instead. So yeah, I don't know.
So something what I did was based off of that mindset is we bought this guy. So I haven't opened it yet, Max. I'm not going to open it on stream. I'm making a video right after this. But
okay.
So I bought another 5090. So now granted, I bought that before I sold these, but you know, it's okay. It's gonna work out. But the value there is the fact of like, even though I am selling hardware to buy hardware, I'm kind of in my mind, I'm upgrading, right? Like I'm taking those 3090s, I'm moving them into 5090s, so I'm continuing to reinvest. Now it comes full circle though, because like, yeah, the 3090s are up in price, so are the 5090s. You know, this was $3,800 I still paid, and while that's crazy expensive versus my units when I bought them were between 2,000 and 2,750, I feel like the two that I got that were at 2,000, those were like oddities and unicorns. Those were through that NVIDIA purchase program where like, I don't even know if they're doing that anymore. If anybody in chat knows, like, please let me know if they've heard anything. But like, I have not seen or heard anybody who's gotten that email that's like, you can buy one right now for $19.99. I don't even know that exists anymore. So rolling those profits, the sold value of those 3090s right into this. So I bought this one. And I do have plans for some of the other hardware as well, but love to get your feedback on just selling 3090s, buying 5090s.
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, yeah, look at how much 3090s are making, and they're making, you know, I'm not talking about now, I'm talking about before you were making between 10 and 15 cents, usually somewhere in that range. And when you're looking at 5090s, you're looking at, you know, 30 to 35. So yes, you gotta sell 3 3090s in order to get one 5090, but so you are losing a little bit of revenue, but you're making that up in the profits that you're getting, and you're future proofing yourself. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad move. I can see people thinking both ways on that, but yeah, kudos to you for upgrading, because I think that's what I think a lot of people, including myself, will delay, shall we say.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's something that I'm looking at right now. I'm actually one of my buddies actually, I'm bringing him on board. He's coming out Thursday night, and a close friend of mine, known him for 20 years. He is selling a ton of my hardware. Like I don't have the time to be listing and selling and all this stuff. So he's actually setting up a Shopify store for me, and then we're going to be selling stuff on Shopify, more on eBay, and more locally. And I'm just giving him 10% of everything. Like, brother, you take 10% of everything, because I literally outside my door have loads of like solo miners. I got GPUs. Nothing in high demand. Like those GPUs are like X080s or 3080s, things like that. To just like, yes, I could get them up and running, but if I could take those profits and roll them, and that's kind of where my head's at. Chassis. Oh, great example. So like all these 3090s that I built, these chassis, they were single card rigs. So like he's going to sell the memory on top of what we just did there, like the 3090s. He's
Mhm.
selling the 2 terabyte NVMe's individually. And then I got like solid state drive he's going to slap in there. He's going to buy some lower end memory. We don't need 64 gigabytes of memory. We're going to buy some like 3060s or 3070s, slap them in there, and then sell them locally here. Because like that lower end, I should say lower end, but like cheaper rig, I could sell locally on Facebook Marketplace versus like here's a $3,000 machine. Trying to sell that locally is just really tough. So we're going to take
Right.
those profits too, roll those into 5090s, and then everything else. So that'll put me right now, as of today, I'll have 4 5090s. I'll be buying another one here very shortly once I get paid out through eBay. That'll put me at 5 5090s. And yeah, well, I'm excited. My goal is density too. Trying to density versus so many different rigs. Is that something that's come to mind for you in the past on like a density perspective?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just density. It's the power. So I'm more limited on power. So if I can get more revenue per watt,
Yeah.
that's going to be much better for me. So yes, there's the density factor. Like right now, we talked about the 3090s. Yeah, I would love to swap out one of my 3090s, but literally that 15-cent job has been running for I think about 7 or 8 months with
Oh
no
my
end in
goodness.
sight.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just let that one ride because I don't want to turn that customer off. Now, could I swap that out for a different card? Yes, but that job has to end first. So I think I did set an end date in July. So I would have the opportunity to
You
swap
are
it out
a
at that point.
good you are a good steward for an operator. I
I know.
shut my unit. I just
I
shut
know.
my units down. They sold. I'm like, I'm out.
So there's there's that. I'm not talking about that. My point is yeah, if I was just selling and I was shutting it off and then restarting it with something else,
Yeah.
yes, but remember, you have a much easier time of getting re-verified. I'm in the 30 to 60 day range of getting verified. So for me, it's like, okay, I'm gonna basically whatever I switch out, if I decide to do a new machine ID because I swap something out, then it's gonna sit for a month and not make any revenue. So I've taken that into account. But yeah, it's I am a good steward. I definitely know of some people that when the prices started going up, they did everything they could to get rid of everybody so that they could jack up their prices. So won't call anybody out, but that's just not me. These people, and it's interesting because Vast, when you are, I forget exactly when it comes up, but there is a message that now comes up. I think when you're changing prices or something, but there's a message that comes up that says, "Hey, you are entering into a contract for this period of time, so your responsibility is to keep this thing up and running through the end of the contract." Something to that effect.
Yeah.
Um,
Something very dramatic in that regard. Which
Exactly,
I
because
could get
they were
it.
running
I
into
could get
problems
it.
where people were just shutting off because they wanted to get higher paying jobs that were out there.
Yep. I feel like we went through this not too long ago. Myself when I was chatting with you about it, where what was the context there? I wanted there were there were rentals on my 5090 rig, and they were crazy. I mean, to give context to people, they were the same price from when I set up the rig and powered it on for the first time because it moved so quickly. Where it was like this was months ago, guys.
No, yeah, I remember because I said because I've been in that situation, and that's
Yep.
not what I'm talking about. What I'm
Yeah.
talking about is that you genuinely knew what you were doing. You knew
Oh,
you were
sure.
verified. You set your price, and now you're still verified, and you just want a better price. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But yeah, when you make a mistake, yeah, we've all made the
Well,
mistakes.
the mistake side, or it was like, okay, I listed it for like 20 cents, per hour for the 5090s, got it online, and within it was rented within like 5 minutes, which was unverified. Okay, fine. But then it was verified in 2 days, and that price still held through. And now jump ahead, months ahead. Now everything had blown up, and it was like, holy cow! Like
Let
this
me
is
give a little
absolutely
bit of
nuts.
context to this as well. And this
Yeah,
is where
yeah,
I do
please.
have a problem with Vast. Their default time frame when you are setting pricing is 6 months. When then
Oh
that
yeah,
that
yeah,
default day that comes up. So if you're all
yep.
focused on setting pricing and you're not
Hmm.
thinking about the day and you set it and somebody instantly rents you, you're like, oh crap.
Yep.
I didn't know. And this was like I think your first one. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
understandable that yeah, that mistake everybody's made that. Well, I won't say everybody, but most people. I have certainly made that mistake early on a couple of rigs. So
Yep.
yeah, it
Mm.
definitely happens and yeah, you got to find a way out at that point.
Yeah. Well, first shout out to Cookie Mailman for becoming a member. Do appreciate it, brother. Thank you for your support. Yeah, I wonder, I'm always I am always coming from the user experience side, and I almost wonder if Vast needs to start doing a like, okay, you go to like list your unit, right? You click list, and it's like a window pops up, and it like one step at a time, right? Like, okay, few things to agree to. Okay, great. What setting your pricing and more explanation, more dumbing it down. Like, here's a challenge, folks. When I have to go to Max when I first started this and ask him what all these fields mean and trying to understand it, Vast is doing something wrong. Like, and I get it. You could take the approach, oh, well, you need to do your research. And then you could take the other approach where it's like, you need training wheels and you need your handheld. Great. Let's find an area right in the middle. But it's like all these different fields. It's a little overcomplicated. And so having one screen pop up at a time that explains the field, explains it from an operator perspective, explains it from a renter perspective, like that would be fantastic, right? And then you go the next field and the next field, and the next field. And when you get to the date field, here's the expiration date. Here's renter. Here's from operator, pros, cons, whatever. Like, give us all the information and allow us to make that decision.
Right.
And then once you get to the end of it, I think while Vast is awesome, and I always say this, Vast was designed entirely, especially with their web GUI, by engineers and developers and designers. They don't have a user experience like a web GUI user experience guy on board because you can absolutely tell. Like you can
Mhm.
absolutely tell. And I think some of that comes back to bite them in the ass later, like what you and I are talking about right now.
Yeah, there's so I've been evaluating a number of different things, but one of the things I figured out with Vast is I don't think they have a very big team.
Yeah, I would
And
agree. Yeah.
so they are, very skinny as far as
Hmm.
what they have. They've been making some improvements, but their improvements come really slow because I think they're more just focused on making sure that everything stays up and running.
Sure.
Um, and obviously things change. And then you look at, well, how have they gained customers in the past? And I don't know about you,
Mm.
but I have seen when times were a little bit slower, I've seen all the ads that they place on Facebook. And
Oh,
so,
really?
yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
so they do a lot of advertising there when they want to get more rentals. So I think
Mhm.
that's been kind of their recipe has been stay skinny, just focus on staying up and running
Yeah.
and improving and fixing bugs and that type of thing.
Mm.
Um, and then going out and getting business, offering referrals for people who will refer people to rent. They do have that
Mm.
program as well.
Okay.
On the hosting side, until they run short on people to host, they're not going to be focusing on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that for sure. I mean, I think it's a double-edged sword, right? Like
Mhm.
you'd love for them to focus
Why
on
invest money in something
rentals.
that you don't need to invest money in because you already have enough supply?
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Why? Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think the one thing I will say is, Vast has been the most consistent on demand, and not just now
Mhm.
during this Pearl craziness, but previous to that when I first got started on it. So yeah, that has been really, really nice. Yeah, it'll be interesting going back to density a little bit. It'll be interesting because I have to go out to my shed and I have these 5090s in the Omega rack.
Mhm.
So in order to, I can't get the Omega rack out of my shed without unbolting the rack.
Right.
So like the rack is in the middle of this little shed, and I have to slide it. I have it like one side bolted, but the other side not, so I could slide it, and then I could get it out of the shed to actually do it. So yeah, so I did actually schedule like maintenance today. Max has taught me that. So I have maintenance today starting at 2 Eastern, where I'll shut down the rig entirely, pull it out inside here, install my new setup. The one thing I will have to do is I'll have to keep an eye on the power supplies. So the power supplies are 1300-watt power supplies each. And it's kind of that fine line when you're looking at like, do you put 1 or 2 5090s on one 1300-watt, right? Like that's you're pretty close, right? You're pretty close.
You're darn close. One thing I would definitely do, again, the TDP on those is 575, even though the AIBs have it set at 600. I would definitely tune it down to 575 at just to give you a little bit more room. But yeah, there could be some spin up. Yeah, there could be some spin up problems if a couple people spin up jobs at the exact same time and the transients go up.
Yeah, my goal is to replace those power supplies. I mean, it's 2 things. One thing is I got 4 slots on that Omega frame. So like right now there's 3 1300-watt power supplies and like a 550-watt. And that 550 watts powering just the motherboard. And then each of those 5090s has their own 1300 watts. So it's like, man, yeah, you could add more power supplies, but like, where do you put them, right? You just have them like hanging off of this thing. Like I'm better than that. I just like that. That is wild to me.
Hey, you've seen my setups. You've seen my setup. That is exactly what I have. It's on a wire rack. And yes, I have them hanging off the edges and they're sitting right next to it. But it works and it just runs.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. No one else is seeing it, right? I think it's just me from my peace of mind. So like where my head goes is taking some of the revenue from all these things that I'm selling and bumping up those power supplies. I think what I'll end up doing is, and they're good power supplies. They're 1300-watt platinum EVGA power supplies. Like they're badass. And I bought them a year ago, I think, when I was first like thinking about this. So yeah, swapping those out to, and I wish I would have known what I know now. Whatever, mistakes are made. This is how you learn. 100% is like gone with an absolute like powerhouse power supply.
There's some additional, there's some additional options out there now as well. There's like, I think Corsair has a 3000-watt power supply now, and there's a couple of 3000 watt power supplies. And when you look at the cost of them versus ordering like say 2 1600-watt power supplies, it's actually not that bad. It really isn't. So if you're looking to save space, I would look into that.
Yeah, that's something I might have to do because like my goal is my goal is I have all the other supporting hardware to support 8 5090s, which is wild to think about. I was thinking about this the other day of like, dude, 8 5090s in one rig. That's a lot of money in one rig right there. Like that.
I have 8 4090s in a very similar rig.
That's crazy.
And I didn't do it all at once. I built it up. Literally started with 2 and built one at a time from the revenue that was being generated. It probably took me 8 months, I think. Along with a little bit extra help, but 8 months to build that up.
Yeah. That's kind of my goal right now is like get to 8 5090s, and it sounds terrible, but then settle. Like I'm okay with that, right? Because I got a lot of other things moving. And so I feel like once you get to a rig that has 8 5090s, it puts you in a really good spot. I mean, I'm checking a lot of those boxes. I think where other challenges will come up as I grow, though, is what you and I have talked about is like the motherboard and like the supporting memory. Like, really going to need more memory in that thing. Or, is the single EPIC CPU going to be enough? Or do we need to upgrade from there? So like those are all things that I look at as we continue to kind of grow that rig. But that's like an 8 5090 rig is something that I feel like definitely helps to future proof me with what we're doing right now. Like it puts me in a really good spot. So let me look here. Cooking Mailman says, do we need to send a search party for Squirrel Master? He was here earlier. I saw him. He was absolutely here. But welcome Nixie in chat. Patrick Murphy's here. Welcome Patrick Murphy. Thanks for coming to hang out, brother. Do appreciate you.
Oh yeah, he was. I see him. He was here.
Yep. Yeah. Patrick Murphy says, I came late. Have we talked about how tan Hobbyist is? I'm sorry. I was away at the beach. If you guys saw me on Twitter, you saw while there's tan, there's also red, and I got rocked with sunburn on the top of my thighs while I was at the beach. And I don't know. Patrick Murphy says 10% for my buddy that's going to sell everything is 10% only. Yikes. I think that's pretty good. Some of that stuff is like ASIC miners. Some of that stuff is like, $1,000 plus $2,000 piece of hardware. Like he could do really well. He could sell this water bottle and make 10 cents, or you could sell a massive unit. I feel like you put in all that front end time and then you just manage it. That's just my thoughts.
Bottom line is it's an agreement between you and him, and he's obviously happy with the deal. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry, but whose business of that is anybody else's?
Listen, there's something I very clearly identify, and I can throw him under the bus because he's not here, is Red Panda. You then have the flip side then, and you just have everything and you hold on to everything and you rarely sell things. And like I don't have this hoarding. I know I don't have the space for that. And plus I want to take advantage of like people are buying stuff right now, right? So like, there's money to be made here for sure. So that is something where I am all over it, where I'm like, hey, we got to keep things moving, selling things off. I even have some full-size ASICs coming back from hosting that I'm going to be selling off as well. It's just those are in a different scenario. So those are not in a time period where it's like, oh, those are making the most. I'm just cutting ties because I dropped the ball and didn't sell them when they were making the most. And now they're worth fractions of what they were then. So like you could do that and just, unfortunately sell when they're barely valuable anymore, which is not what I want to do.
One of the things I want to do, take advantage of, obviously we're in a mining period. Sure. And I do want to I don't have any mining motherboards because I'm using them right now for rentals. I have the old Zotac B150. That was on salad originally, but now it's mining Pearl. But yeah, I mean it works. Why would I need to sell it? I don't. So there's that, but I've got all these risers and everything, and I'm like, maybe I put it out there for like 100 risers for $20. Exactly. Does anybody want this? I'm gonna put it on Facebook Marketplace and see if I get any crazy people that are like, oh yeah, that would be awesome. Like, okay, cool, $20, it's yours. Get it out of my drawers so that I can actually put other things that I do still need to store. Like I've got a bunch of stuff behind me that I would love to actually be stored in the basement. And also there's a bunch of things that are downstairs that I'd love to have stored in the drawers as opposed to like sitting out on the floor and such. So if I can get rid of a bunch of this stuff during this mining craze, that would be phenomenal. I mean, could you imagine getting like what were those called? Like the rectangular boards.
Began with an R.
Yes.
It was the one that had the hanging rack ones. Come on, chat, help us out. They were the hanging rack ones that they were a board. It was all in one. It had the plugs at the bottom. It was all in one. That was your motherboard. You hung them right next to it. Oh man, somebody in chat's gonna remember that.
I'm sure. So, but yeah, so still have two of those.
RebTech. Thank you, Squirrel Master. Heck yeah, coming.
I was gonna say Rebus, and I'm like, it's not Rebus. Rebus is something completely different. But yeah, it's like I still have two of those boards, and I'm like, yeah, if I had cards that I could connect to them, they would be great. They would be phenomenal for doing Pearl mining. But I just don't. I still have another Octo miner. I really don't need. Although that one I may keep because I might turn that one into like get a motherboard, put it in there, have it help create airflow. So I might still do something with that. I saw AlphaMine had a video on how he did that, and I was intrigued. So I might end up doing that at some point, maybe in both of them. I don't know. But that one, at least I'm like, okay, I get it. I might have a use for that in the future.
Yep. Yeah, I have a few. I actually just yesterday get ready for my buddy to come over he's going to pick up everything and sell it. I had the Octo miner, the GPU risers, like that white R8. And that had the X080s in it. And so I just like pulled that out, opened that up, pulled the GPUs out. I'm like, man, this thing is dirty. But I'm like, dude, there's no point in me like trying to sell that thing. Like I might as well just shelf that. I have a few others. I'll take it over to my crypto mining compound in my storage shed, add it in there. I have two, I think, two other. There's an Octo miner and one of the off-brand units. I can't remember the name of it. Forgetting the name, but it has a knob in the front you can turn. It came in green and black. Maybe somebody remembers them. But like, there's no point in trying to sell them because, like, locally, you're barely going to get anything right now. Granted, right now is probably your best time, as you had talked about. Like,
Right.
mining has probably been the most valuable today versus the last 5 years that we can really think about, or less. So I get it. I think you had talked about risers earlier. I had risers down here, a bin of risers, and then I found in my attic I had an entire massive bin, hundreds of them as well. And I literally, you know what I did? I trashed an entire bin of them. I was like, this here was $20. What was it, like $20 for like six back in the day? And it
Yeah.
was like, this is like thousands of dollars in risers I'm just dumping in the trash because I had hundreds of them more. And listen, I found homes for a lot of them. I packaged them into like a gallon-sized Ziploc and just gave them to my like mods. And this was
Mhm.
like several years ago. I was like, "Can I give you some of these? Like, please
Right.
take them." Like, just
Right.
I feel bad getting rid of them. So no, I totally get it. It is
I hate to make e-waste. I mean, that's in essence what they had become up until recently.
yeah.
By the way, Squirrel Masters, it sounds like I'm kind of seeing, I think he was trying to do an exchange,
Oh,
like a Facebook marketplace exchange. I didn't catch the whole
yeah,
thread, but one of the things that I do when I'm doing a Facebook marketplace exchange is find a spot where there's a camera. Police stations have
mm.
them. They have specific designated locations
Oh,
that are exchange locations, literally assigned by my police station that's like 2.5 miles away.
I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I go there. Now, if I'm like buying something from somebody, I find the local police station there that has cameras in exchange. Sometimes you have to go into the police station for it,
Okay,
but most of the time they have the cameras outside. And if you
interesting.
tell people we're meeting at the police station, you can be relatively sure that there isn't going to be a lot of funny business. Obviously, if the guy
Ah.
walks up to you with a mask, drive away.
Yeah,
But you
it's
know,
interesting. He says, "Oh, they're called safe exchange locations."
right.
Got it. And I've seen those before. There was a guy that I bought a GPU from a few years ago, and it was a little bit of a ride for me to get there. And then it was actually at a police station that had this like right out front type of deal. I have done many, like when I bought all those 3090s, a lot of them were gas stations. Now, gas stations in Pennsylvania, a lot of them are a little bit different. They are mini marts, they are made to order. So, like, I go there all the time to get food, which most people are like, wait, you go to a gas station to get food? Oh, yeah. Like made to order stuff like that. You know, there are boatloads of people there at all times, regardless of the hour, because of that. You know, we have like Wawas in our area and things like
Right.
that, and sheets and cameras everywhere and people everywhere. And so, like, I always like I'm parked right out front type of deal, you know. Now, depending on where your mindset is, I always take a concealed carry as well. Depends on kind of where you are with that, but I've never ever had to use it, never even had to shown it in any way, shape, or form, and I've never had that challenge. But I imagine, and I think for me, I am more in tuned when more expensive items like graphics
Mhm.
cards, right? Like when you're not just talking like here's this 20 or $50 you know, little toy, kid's toy. It's like, no, we're talking like $1,000 we're exchanging right here out front of a gas station. So while it looks crazy shady and I get it 100%, I would rather be people walking by, people can see me, all that types of stuff.
Yep, exactly. Totally agree. I mean, I had
Yeah.
one not so good experience. It wasn't that big of a deal. I
Mm,
still got a working product. So, but other than that, I mean, it's been nothing but great. I know that, like, I remember I bought some RAM and this was as the craze kind of started a little bit.
mm,
And he's like, "Hey, do you need this? Do you need this?" But I met
okay.
him at his house. And
Oh,
I
okay.
honestly told him, I said, "I don't mind coming to your house, but my suggestion is don't have people come to your house." I said,
Oh,
"Because
yeah, I
you
never do
never
that,
know." I
yeah.
said, "Just my suggestion." I mean, like I said, I don't mind. I'm not mad. I'm comfortable, but
Mm,
I can tell you that when I'm selling something, I never have people come to my house because I don't know what kind of shady character might be,
mhm.
on Facebook Marketplace. I said, "So just word to the wise, just something. He's like, well, I've never had a problem. I said, I granted you don't have a problem until you have a problem.
I think I've done my house before with like couches that we've sold or
Well,
like
yeah, that's a little different. I
items.
did that with the
Yeah,
refrigerator once. Yeah.
I did that. The one only, and I've done like plenty of toys and things like that. Like if I can go even 5 minutes away, 2 minutes away, like a grocery store, I do. The only time I had somebody who really put up a stink and bought something was a guy bought a portable air conditioner from me.
Mhm.
And it was like during like the hot of the hot, and I took advantage of it. I sold the air conditioner, and um I can't remember what it was, but, like, he had issues, like, 2 weeks later or something like that, and was really fighting me and showed up at my house with it, and, like, "Hey, I wanna return this," and I pretty much walked outside and was like, "This is not Walmart. This is not Target. Like, I'm sorry." And he was not happy, and he left it there. Like, he was like, "Here's my e-waste. Here's my air conditioner unit," and I didn't give him his money back or anything, but it was like
Right.
2 weeks later, brother. It's like, you can't take it, run it for 2 weeks. It ran fine until that day, and now you have issues. It's like,
Right.
you can't foresee that, and that could definitely be a challenge, that's where my concern goes with, like, selling hardware. Like, I sell you a GPU or something at my house, and then
Right.
you show up a month later and you're like, "I don't want this anymore. It doesn't work." Like, that's not how this works.
Yep. Yep. No, and that's I get it. And of course, when I have people come to my house and I'm kind of like, oh, let me show you what I got going on. That's just dangerous.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so
yeah,
because a
yep,
lot of times that's where the conversation will go, like, oh, what are you going to use this for? And I tell them,
yeah, yeah, yep, yeah.
like,
Well, I even had a bunch of people asking when I was listing my founders, which is really interesting. How do you answer this? When you listed your founders edition 3090s, and they message you before they make an offer. They're like, "Did you use this for mining?" And it's like, "Well, no, I didn't use it for mining." Like, but like,
right,
who knows? I don't know what they were used for. Like, you kind of have to play dumb in that regard because people
right.
think that like mining is going to destroy your card and stuff. And so like you always get that question. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. No, I hear you there. Definitely hear you there. I've been fortunate. I think a lot of people realize that that's not the problem. Like I said, somebody who games
Yep.
on their card 12 hours a day is going to wear down their GPU more than somebody who's mining 24 hours a
Yeah.
day, because it's the temperature variation that changes the consistency of the thermal paste and
Mhm.
can create more wear and tear than just a consistent temperature all the time.
Yeah, do you ever see Linus Tech Tips did a video on like
Mhm.
does mining? Yeah, and I thought that
Yeah.
was a really, really good video. If you guys aren't familiar, just go out there, look for it. One of the mods can maybe put it in chat if they find it. But yeah, Linus Tech Tips has a great video on does mining like hurt the card in any way, shape, or form. And I think they like mine it for a long time, and then they test like the performance before with different benchmarks, do the mining, and then do it after. And like you see the same as you had alluded to, you see the same natural like degradation and loss as you would with like any usage. You know what I mean? Like no
Mhm.
difference there at all, which is nice. Let me show this real quick here while we're at it, because this is actually done well. Is let me Man, we're gonna figure out how to do this. You figure it out as you go. So let me share screen. Um, right now, guys, I'm actually running a giveaway in collaboration with Cell GPU, and it's a 5070 Ti. And it's an MSI Ventus 5070 Ti from the team over at Cell GPU. So I will put a link in chat for this. It still runs for another like 28 days. Stupid amount of entries already for this. This is going to be the biggest like entry ever that I've had with any of these giveaways. I run a giveaway every single month on Twitter, and I've worked with different companies. Believe it or not, Techman is actually in chat. He won the last one. He won the What did you win? You win the Lucky Miner LV08 solo Bitcoin miner. So congrats to Techman there. I passed off your information yesterday. But yeah, you guys just come on over. I'll put a link in chat to this, and you guys can go ahead and enter. It uses different methods like visiting websites, watching a video on like a short little video on what cell GPU is, following on different social medias, things like that, joining a newsletter. Yeah, it ends on July 1st. And then the winner will be picked on July 2nd. So for everybody that like thinks like, oh man, these giveaways always happen and no one ever wins. Well, Techman's in chat. He won literally the last one, which is really, really cool. So yeah, there's a link in chat for this. Go over and check it out. 5070 Ti, pretty sweet right now with everything going on, which is pretty awesome with all the interest in GPUs at the current moment.
So one thing I did want to bring up, I'm gonna share my screen because we talked about this a while ago, and I finally did it. No, I didn't finally do it. You know who did it? Sunflower Mama.
Okay.
So let me share.
Yeah.
And that one. There we go.
There we go. Add to stage, and let me click. Nope. This one. And let me stop sharing. And add to stage. Bam! There we go. Okay.
So finally, you can see the window that was in this frame, and that is a sliding glass or a sliding window. So half of it was open for inputting air. And for those people that don't know, I have two like gable fans that are pointed out of a window window, and I'll show you the other window as well because it's that shape.
Okay.
But that's like 4,000 CFM. The problem we had was with the screens that we had, basically it was pulling air from the upstairs. So we had
negative air pressure. Yep.
Right. So we have a curtain, but the curtain was bowing. So we were preventing it as much air as possible from getting there. So this basically these are 18 by 30. There's two of them in that window, 18 by 30.
Yep.
And so it's 37 inches high, so it fit really, really well in the window with a lot more surface area. These are 4-inch deep filters, so
that fan is blowing air in. Is that correct?
It's blowing air in, yes.
Got it. Okay. So did you guys remove the window? Is that what?
Yeah, the window's what's on the floor.
Oh, I see that.
So this is the entire space is now a filter. It's open for bringing air
outside. What does the outside look like?
So
just like the filter side, it looks like the filter side.
Yeah, it's just the filter side on the outside. Yeah. So it's literally the filter is filling the window, and then she put like stuff along the outside to seal everything.
What you guys could do in the future, this is just Hobbyist coming out with ideas, is there are a lot of really good gable vents out there that are all different like a variety of different sizes. Like kind of think over the outside of my shed, so those intakes. Well, I have a really big one. I actually have one. The size of a window. So on the back side of my shed, I literally taped up the window, broke the window. Not that you do this here, and then took a giant gable vent and slotted it into that window. So you could do that too if you were. Two things: one, looks a little bit nicer. Two, helps out with rain and water because it's gable vented, so it's kind of slatted. Now this, the way you're doing, it's going to give you the best airflow because you're going to lower that airflow.
Nobody can see this from the outside.
Oh,
remember, it's in a window well. This one is the escape vent.
Oh, window well.
Escape window well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We talked about this one was actually building like it out, so it had even more surface area. But we wanted to try this first to see how much it helped airflow, and then the next one. Let me go there, and this is the other one. So there's a smaller one, and this one is the same size window that we have the two gable fans in pointed out. And so once we did this, and this one's like super strong fan on this one, which is really nice.
Cool.
But really there is no negative air pressure anymore, or very little.
Yeah.
Because there's no pulling of the curtain anymore.
Active intake.
Intake, active intake that actually works because it's actually allowed to bring air in. Those screens were pretty filthy. So in this case, I mean, we're going to be switching these out probably every 3 months would be my guess. So it's going to be kind of expensive because it was like
I bet you do it. I bet you. When did you start it?
Like last week.
I bet you just based off of what I see with my sheds, I bet you do this monthly.
Okay.
The amount, because when you run that type of active, so like mine is, even though mine's passive because of the exhaust is right there, when
Mhm.
you run something with that much CFM, you're just using a ton of CFM, those things are going to dirty up so quickly. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, we're gonna
That
be
you could do
monitoring
that.
it. Yeah, we're
And
definitely gonna be
the best,
monitoring it.
and here's what I recommend you do. And granted, you guys are smart, so you guys are maybe already doing it. Go over to your gable vents now and take a little piece of like duct tape and just put it on the side of it where the flaps are. So like your flaps are at let's say this degree, put a just piece of tape to mark like this is where it is as of June 2nd, right? Just where those flaps are.
Oh, I see what you're
Because
saying. Yeah, because
here's the
it'll show when there's less airflow.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep. So as it gets restricted, oh crap, what did we do? Did we do something different? Oh no,
right.
our filters, that'll start to go downward. That's how my indicator is for folks at home with my sheds. When I open a shed door, what my old setup, my setup here at home actually is like that still. When I open my shed door, my flaps go straight vertical. That's like the
Mhm.
utopian world of how that works. Now, something you could do to go to extreme, because this is a hobby, this is how I am, is take that setup there, remove the fan, take a piece of plywood, okay, fit it to size, right? Keep your filter, plywood, fit it to size, put a shutter fan as an intake. So
Right.
it's facing us. And here's why. It's going to narrow down that. So like right now you have like airflow that can go through the sides, things like that. But then you could get a lot better CFM because those shutter fans you can get up to like 2000 plus whatever or whatever you want to do. So you have all different options.
What you don't see down below is,
Yeah.
remember, that's exactly what we did. We have a piece of
Yeah.
plywood. Originally, we had one with one fan in the center of the piece of plywood. Well, then we changed it to be two. And instead of like, oh, we're going to have one old fan, one new fan, I just bought two new fans and left the other one as either a
Got it.
backup or setting it up with this. So I'd
That's
have to
cool.
take off the shutters on it.
Yeah. Yep.
But I could fit it in that space.
Yeah, yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I mean, this is the type of stuff, folks, where like people at home looking at what Max is doing. This is like all we did during the GPU mining days. It was like, let's figure this out. And like, dude, you go back on my channel, so many mistakes, so many problems, so much overheating, just not having a good understanding. And if the sheds have taught me anything, it's just taught me about how valuable not exhaust is, but how valuable like that positive pressure for intake is from all of this.
Correct. And just a short little plug for me on my website. I have at the top of the page is like a not necessarily a how-to, but what to think
Mm.
about when you
Oh,
are
sure.
doing
Sure.
GPU rentals. And one of the sections in there is airflow because it's the thing
Yeah.
that nobody talks about. It's like, how do I get this up and running? And all
Yep.
of a sudden you start growing, and all of a sudden you're like, crap, what do I do with all this heat? Um,
Yep.
one of our fellow um creators who
Mhm.
remain nameless.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like limited because of where he's at, and he's like, I'm not going to do anything more. But if you want to grow,
Yeah.
then yeah, you have to do something about it. And there are always ways always ways to fix the issues and to
Mhm.
improve things. I'm really curious. So since last year during the summer, we didn't have any of this. We didn't have this when we had the two gable fans pointed out. That definitely
Mhm.
helped. Um, but we knew it wasn't going to be enough. So then I I have the thing on the heat pump that I've talked about. So I
Yeah, yeah,
switched
yeah.
from a 2.5 ton air conditioner to a 3 ton heat pump with the same
Yeah.
efficiency. So there
Yep.
should be additional cooling. So with these two changes, what we had done also last year, the other thing we did was we had an air conditioner in our bedroom in order to keep it cool at night so that we could
Mm.
sleep more comfortably. Otherwise, it was like 73, 74 degrees up there at night. Not horrible, but not the 70 to 68 to 70 degrees that we like to sleep in that
Yeah.
temperature. So I'm really curious with the heat pump. It has much better
Mm.
airflow than our air conditioner did. And it's not really the air conditioner, it's the furnace. But anyway, it has much better airflow. We've already seen a difference in its cooling abilities for the upstairs. So I'm curious if this year, with the change we just made here with the air filters, as well as the improvement in the airflow of the HVAC system, if the bedroom is going to be just fine without any additional air conditioning. So we haven't hit the dog days of summer yet. We've hit like 85 degrees, and we've been able to keep it cool in our bedroom. But once we start hitting 95 degrees during the day, we'll have to wait and see like what that is really gonna do. So we'll see.
I wonder, have you got, and I don't know the design of the basement and the layout for that. Have you guys ever thought about just like building a room outright, like to isolate things, or to like, or
It
is it a very
kind of
open concept, or
it
what's
kind
that
of
setup?
is already closed off. So it's
Okay.
about a by 1,300 square foot basement. We do have
Okay.
rooms in the basement, but probably about 1,000 total square feet. But the area that is cordoned off is probably about 700 square feet, something
Okay.
600 to 700 square feet. And
Yeah.
so it is cordoned off from the stairs. So we have
Hmm.
curtains, plastic sheet up on the one side, closing everything off. There's no airflow coming from that
Yeah.
section. Zero.
Is, is it
And then,
just the heat soak from the floor then that you're getting, like above?
well, again, remember before we did this, we were still pulling air from the upstairs. Well, when you pull air from
Yeah.
the upstairs, where's the air coming from? It's coming from the
Everywhere.
outside. It's seeping in from
Yeah.
the outside. Your air
Yeah.
has to come from somewhere. That's why people like when they have like a room in their house and they're like, "Well, I shut the door and I'm blowing all the air out." Like, dude,
Yeah.
you have to understand where's the input coming from? If you don't have another
Mhm.
input in that room, it's coming from the rest of your house, whether you like it or not. You don't have a
Yeah.
choice.
Yep.
So basically, I think that's basically the biggest problem is that we're pulling air in from the outside, which is the hot air. And so
Mhm.
without that, I think we're going to be much better off, but we'll see.
Okay.
Time will
Yeah.
tell.
Yep.
It's always kind of an experiment, but it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I mean, it's one of those. I mean, I think back of like over the last 6 years of different iterations I've gone through, and like I look at it and it's like, okay, I tried to do a mining room in here. That was an absolute failure. Like so much money spent, all of that. I tried a grow tent, with GPUs in it back here. That just at the end of the day, it all came down to positive airflow. Like failure over there. The biggest victory for me was moving out to my first little shed, and it was like a whole wall of intake, just absolutely. Now something I need to do, it's on my list, I just keep telling myself it's on my list, is I need to replace the filters here. I don't have
Mhm.
as much CFM. I literally, guys, I put four 16-inch or 20-inch shutter fans there for this little tiny 6x7 shed. Like, it is entirely overkill. I only ever power one on, and
Oh wow!
even now it's at a speed of two. Like
Oh
it's
wow!
it's like, let's see here. Let's look in this shed real quick here. I'm gonna check on my phone. I use the those of you guys familiar, Govee. You can look on Amazon. They have a bunch of these different sensors. I'm always looking at it. My intake is 74 intake side, so
Mhm.
a sensor on that filter side. On the exhaust side, right next to the exhaust fans, it's 81. So 74 to 81. So like not that big of a difference there.
Right.
But that being said, like I need to replace those filters because guaranteed, and you know what I'll even do at some point here, maybe I'll even do a little short for it or a Twitter post on it, is like, here is where my shutter fan is, and I'll put that piece of tape on it with my dirty filters. I'll replace the filters and now show where it's at. It's just, these are the things that like you can't teach. You can't like, you kind of just have to show people to
Yeah.
help them understand, because like you don't understand airflow, and I get it until you've made mistakes, and then you learn as you go.
Yeah. We're not HVAC engineers.
Yeah.
So,
Even then, I had my HVAC guy here one time and we were chatting through it, and it was just like it's a whole new world. Like it's a whole new world because for them, they don't think through and talk through like, wait, outside air? Like we're bringing in outside air? Like
right.
their world is like sealing off a house and keeping
Right.
that house cold, not
Right.
like I
And
want
all
to
the
pull air
airflow,
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
airflow is from the inside going back to the inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Now, it's interesting you said that because, you know, I've have thoughts. I think it probably won't happen just because I think I'll probably
Mhm.
upgrade and stay
Mhm.
more efficient inside than I will be to go out to a shed. But
Yeah.
definitely have thoughts of maybe expanding to a shed one day. But my biggest concern is complaints about noise and airflow
Hmm.
because mine is going to be on the property line.
Yeah.
And so now the other thing I could do is have the fan side be like towards our yard, so
Mm.
that and then but what you just made reason why I just thought about this was because yes, if you do it in such a way where you over engineer it and you put in more fans than you need, you can run the fans at low speed, which means they'll be
Yeah.
quiet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the winter time, that one fan is on a speed of 1, or if it gets too cold, I turn it off. And
Right.
then what happens is that heat rises in the shed and goes back around. And actually what I've done is, so the shed, those of you guys not familiar, this is my first shed I've done. The exhaust wall is literally like shutter fan, and then like at your between your knees and your ankles, depends if your mac's a little different, but the other 2 shutter fans down there. And so I turn one on at the bottom at a speed of 1. So think of it, the heat comes out of the rack, goes up, recirculates, it gets pulled back in and thrown out. And you can see it, and it does a great job. And so, like, my goal is to keep the inside of those sheds like 50 degrees Fahrenheit when
Mhm.
it's below 10 degrees outside, or lower. And that works very, very well, because then it's the reverse side, right? Like, you need to think through, like, how do I keep this warm during the winter, when in the summer you're trying to exhaust it? Like, it's a double-edged sword on the shed
Well, that's
side,
why I've
a little
seen
bit
people
more
that have
stressful.
yeah, that's why I've seen people that do this. They're like, "Why are you insulating your shed?" It's like, "Because I'm
Yeah.
insulating it because when it gets cold, I'm gonna need to keep the heat in to make sure it's the right temperature, that it doesn't get too cold." Yeah, you think in the summer,
Yep.
why would you want insulation? It doesn't matter because it's
Yep.
it's air in, air out. It's all about the number of times you can change the airflow in there. The insulation at that point is
Yep.
irrelevant.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's something I run into, and I'm still learning, still mastering, even with my um crypto mining compound with my sheds over there. Is those inline fans get turned down drastically during the winter. And then this winter was the first winter I went through this, and it was money was on the bottom, um where all that heat and my ducts go right into the gravel. I open up about 3 slots on the bottom and leave those open that are exhaust vents. They turn into intakes because there's naturally that negative pressure, and they're pulling in 60-65 degree temperatures just to keep that heat up. So yeah, it's definitely a balancing act for sure. And that's something I did this past winter, was just like turning those off, keeping those AI rigs warm. Is definitely super important there, which is awesome. Scrollmaster said, I love how the layout of my apartment, I can exhaust out the living room windows and get a tunnel of airflow from my balcony in my kitchen. Are you single, Scroll Master, where you just have like from one room into the other? Like, he also says, I learned all my airflow stuff from running grow operations with the 1000-watt HID, HPS, and MH lights. Oh yeah, that is a little bit different there. Definitely
Well,
helps you out.
remember, he just learned from Panda from his early days. Remember when Panda had
Oh,
that
that's right.
condo?
Oh yeah. That was when I think I first started watching him, right around that time period where he had like stuff in a condo and like blowing it out the window
Yep.
type of deal that was there. Yeah, that's wild.
And I think he had some things out on the balcony as well. I think what during the summer he would move it out onto the balcony. God, those were the days. That was a long time ago. That was before 2020. That was like
Yeah.
2019, I think, maybe 2018.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
You can go back and take a look,
yeah,
and
but yeah, that was
see.
yeah, he went from condo, townhouse, and now to his home. Those were
Yeah, it's
crazy
wild. Yeah,
times.
airflow is definitely. Now, I haven't run into anything yet with my 5090s, on like temperature related issues. So far so good. I did go into Vast though and like put them at a set. I think Swamp 7 I had worked with on doing that. And like, what do I want these to be at? So like, I think right now they're at 100% and just rocking and rolling. And it's double-edged sword, right? You're using more watts. I get it. But
Mhm.
like for me, like they're in that shed, like, it does get warm. Like I want to make sure they're good. So, and they're constantly rented too. So, what do you do with your rigs and fan speeds on your GPUs?
Oh, they're at 100. I
Yeah. Okay.
basically
Yeah.
I during the winter, they're not always at 100, but I generally have them set to stay, uh, like, I have a fan curve set on most of them to where if it get to try to keep it at 65, which is aggressive, but yeah, and pretty much, yeah, nothing stays
Hmm.
below that. Like, right now in Hive, yeah, everything's well, a couple of them are less than that. at less than 100%, but most of them are like they're at 90 to 100% right now in Hive for the mining. I generally don't monitor it that much just because I monitor the temps, but I don't monitor the fans. And generally, I've got a few that can get up there, like up to like 77. That's pretty high.
Wow. Okay.
Most of them are like 71, 72 at the highest, with a bunch of them in the 60s.
Pretty good.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Welcome, Scott. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. Saw your message there, which is good. KE5 says, my sugar mama is at work too. Too wet to cut any wheat or plant corn today. It's been 100 degrees all week. Oh man, that's brutal. Yeah, the high temperatures for sure. Thankfully for me, the ASIC sheds I don't have as many concerns about. When it comes, because there's so much airflow over there. That's something that I've wanted to do, and it's something I'm continuing to look at, is if the AI stuff continues the way it's going, I may consolidate my sheds and do one shed for ASICs, one sheds for AI. But the biggest challenge is that internet speed. I mean, I just we got 1300 by 100 over there, and it's tough if I'm going to add quite a number of rigs over there. I know, Max, you've gotten by. You have what, 300 up? Is that my understanding?
300 to 350 up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I have they have Comcast over there, my electrician does, and there is no higher plan there. And it's all coax. There's no fiber there. So like it's gonna be playing that game, right? Of like, is it worth it? Who do I talk to? Can it be added there? I don't know. My other thought was the street that he's on, there's maybe 12 houses, and maybe hitting people up to be like, hey, is there any interest in fiber? And then like reaching out to like the company to say like, hey, I have commitments by this many people on the street, because it's one street over. So it's like, okay, like, of course, it's always that. Doesn't it always seem that way? Fiber is always one street over to try to get that, because that would be huge. I mean, especially from a cost perspective too, like airflow. Like those sheds are perfect for airflow, right? Like I even thought about how I would do that. I would keep the intakes exactly the same. Right now, I have inline fans that go through the ASICs. Instead, I remove the ASIC and slide the inline fan right into that exhaust duct, and then just do a few of those.
Do you have any friends that are a street over?
There's not. Farmland, agricultural stuff nearby. So unfortunately, not. I know what you're getting at. You want to beam it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna walk around knocking on doors in that area, see what I can find. But
whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
I get you. But also electric rates over there is only 7.5. So like there's a much better electric rate that cuts into your cost. Here, my electric rate is 16 to 17. So my electric bill last month I think was $770. But when people are like, oh my gosh, even $770, I'm not even as concerned, because per week, Vast, you're doing several $100s a week. So like you're covering your costs, no problem right now.
Well, here's kind of another way that you could do it. If you said, well, 100's good enough, is that you set it up at home, you get it verified, then you move it to the shed. You
could, because here it'd be easy, right? I have a 5x5 fiber. It's rocking it for sure. Yeah, and now's I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely something to keep an eye on, because I think, even let's just put Pearl aside, like not even talking about Pearl. Like I was still interested in Vast and AI rig rentals before that, and it's something I've actually, somebody asked this earlier, and we didn't bring it up. I thought I'd bring it up. Are you looking at all or keeping an eye on Octaspace and AMD rigs or anything like that? Or are you what are you seeing over there?
No, I mean, I'm trying to just keep it simple, honestly. I have everything consolidated to Vast. I haven't looked recently, honestly. Now, what I have found, back with the Pearl craze, everybody was rented. It didn't matter what platform you were on, whether you were on Octaspace, Flux even was looking for GPUs because they were sold out. Salad was sold out. I'm forgetting the one that I love. I can't think of what it's called. QuickPod. They were also sold out. I mean, honestly, I wish the best for QuickPod. I really like that platform. I like the fact that they're lower priced. But it is what it is. They just don't have the demand. People know if you're gonna go look for cheap rentals, people go to Vast. They know that that's the place to go, and trying to get a
Yeah.
name for yourself is difficult to break in. And
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, you either have to have a lot of investors to advertise a lot, start gaining a lot of clients, and I think they're kind of just really doing it on shoestring budget right now, which I respect. Platform's great though. I really, really, really like it.
What's up, Crypto Jar? Welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. He joined me for a video the other day talking
Oh, nice.
DEPIN, so I do appreciate it very, very much there for sure. So, is there anything I'm thinking about this on that note? Anything Max is involved in that is not AI rig rentals and not just more recently GPU mining? Is there any other crypto that you're still doing or involved in or anything?
So there's a couple of them that I haven't checked up, and I really should, but I have Tempe
Okay.
nodes. I'm hoping they're still running, but I haven't looked at them in quite a while. I did just upgrade from 2 Cumulus nodes up to 1 more Nimbus node. So now I have 3
Oh,
Nimbus
nice.
nodes on Flux.
Is Nimbus the top one? I can't remember. What's like
No,
the top
Stratus
one?
is the top one.
Stratus, got it. Okay.
I don't have enough for a Stratus node. It's
Okay.
like 37,500 Flux in order to run 3 Nimbus nodes, but you need 40,000 to run a Stratus node. I have like a good setup to run 3 Nimbus nodes. And so actually what I ended up doing was, in fact, I have another thing I have to sell. I have 2 8 gig sticks of SODIMM DDR4 that came out
Nice.
of my NUC, my Intel NUC, which was like a perfect setup for one Nimbus node. I'll take you through this little story because, man,
Sure.
this Saturday, was it Saturday, Friday, Sunday? I forget which day it was, but it was Sunday. It's a completely frustrating day. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, gonna take out the memory, put the memory in. Okay, cool. Put that in. Let's get this thing loaded. So I'm like, okay, well, I was running 2 Cumulus nodes on this through Proxmox. I'm like, but now I'm just gonna be using it just for the node. I'll just do it bare metal.
Oh, okay.
That was a really stupid idea. But I was like, okay, no problem. Well, the NUC. So if you've never done a Flux install with Arcane OS, they expect you to be able to do basic things with setting up secure boot that almost all other BIOSes allow you to do. Well, unfortunately,
this is a challenge of the NUC, I bet. Okay.
Yes, it's a challenge of the NUC in its specific BIOS. I forget what the actual name of the BIOS is, but it's a specific BIOS. Anyway, so I'm like trying to figure this out. And of course, I'm going through Gemini. By the way, Gemini sucks. I have a completely different impression of Gemini now.
Versus Claude. Claude, is that what you were on before?
Right.
Okay.
Claude. And so I ended up changing to Claude and it was much better. But
okay.
Gemini, I literally had it admit 4 times that it was hallucinating. I'm like, why are you giving me false information? Don't guess. If you don't know, why do you keep hallucinating? And it would come back and say, sorry, you're right, I hallucinated that. Like, what if you already know you hallucinated it, why do you anyway? That's a whole nother story. So I mean, that burned like 2.5 hours of trying to work with
I bet
Gemini.
Did you why did you try Gemini? Was it just like there was free, there was credit?
Gemini, well, first of all, Gemini's free, yes. But the other part of it is typically for, and this is where I went wrong. Troubleshooting things, Claude's better. But I was thinking this as being more facts. Like, okay, it should have this information on this BIOS. I'm asking specific information. You should have this. But it was such a niche thing that it just didn't have the information, and it kept making logical assumptions to try, but it wasn't telling me that, like, well, try this. I don't know if this is going to work. It kept stating it as fact. And I'm like, don't do that. If you don't know and you're trying to figure it out, then tell me you're trying to figure it out and I'll go along.
Yeah.
But I want to know if you don't know. So I'm not expecting it to fix it. So anyway, so then I went over to Claude and it showed me ways. So what I ended up doing was I loaded up the Flux node, the initial Flux node onto the system. Then I would load up off of a USB just a boot of Ubuntu so that I could get into the drive and actually then make the manual file adjustments so that it would actually accept the actual key for the secure boot that Flux needed. So I did that. Everything seemed to work great, but then it, for some reason, it looked like UPnP wasn't working properly. So I'm like, all right, fine, I'll reboot. And once I rebooted, it completely forgot the keys. Like, where are the keys?
Oh no!
I'm like, all right. So then I went into the Flux Discord and said, hey, da da da, and I actually then searched, and then the response was, why don't you just use Proxmox? So then I'm like, because I shouldn't have to use Proxmox is what I'm thinking. And then I saw the logic behind it was, well, if you go bare metal with Arcane, you just have this dashboard that comes up on your display. Well, if you don't have this thing hooked up to a display, you can't just SSH into it to really get good information. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, so guess what? I went back and reinstalled Proxmox. I basically spent probably 5 extra hours of and I missed out on the first part was you have to specifically uninstall and get rid of all your VMs and everything off of the drive. Otherwise, Flux Arcane OS will not install. So then I had to go back and fix that too. So it was a whole thing.
What a mess.
Oh yeah, it was a whole thing. But you know what? It's running now. It's running reliably. It's been running nonstop for 3 days. So I'm good now. But at the time, I was ready to ready to tear my hair out.
Yeah, I mean, I need to figure out, I mean, with the Flux nodes I still have running, what I want to do with those. I mean, you do what it's tough. You got the Flux, you might as well like run it to make a little bit more. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see if Flux ever ends up having another run up, and if it does, how much liquidation occurs. Because like most people are just like, I'm waiting for a moment. Like, I talk with your friend Andy a lot.
I keep track of the project, and they keep building, and these are real things. They are a hosting company. They are like a hostinger. I mean, you can run OpenClaw, Hermes, all these things that they're promoting. You can do that on the Flux node network. So I find that utterly fascinating. And the problem is, we used to talk about, hey, they're great at marketing. Now they're just really good at building, but I feel like the marketing piece is what is missing because I don't think they're getting the adoption that they were getting before. So anyway, I'm just super curious. I think it's great technology. I sometimes wonder, and that's why I think it made sense for them to get out of mining. Like, why is there even a crypto involved? They're a hosting company.
Technology company, yeah.
They're a technology company. They're not a crypto company. But once you started that way, how do you get out of it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
But from a technology perspective, they are a great company. Let me add one more thing, though. I also still run Helium nodes. I have 2 Helium nodes running in the house.
Okay.
2 different directions.
Ah, nice. So not nodes, Helium miners.
Yeah, Helium miners. Well, yeah, I mean,
nice.
Helium miners.
Those are the IoT units, right?
Yes, correct.
Nice.
The original one.
So you're getting Helium now, HNT from those, and then you can quickly. What I do is I flip it over to Solana.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah, which is smart, which absolutely makes sense. I actually, I got set up. I'm waiting. I did not too long ago. I took down my CBRS radio, which they sunsetted those units. Right. Pretty much, those of you guys are familiar. Helium went ahead. Helium 5G. Everything was third-party hardware. Helium kind of saw all the challenges and has kind of much brought everything in house. So they have their own indoor Helium 5G hotspot. They have a exterior one as well. So the nice thing is even though I installed that one and bought it, they did a trade-in program, which was awesome. So I got another one replacement from them. Yeah, which was great. Had it sitting for like a year until I could get a lift to actually go up, and we ended up using a guy's bucket truck and get up there and install it, swapped it out, which is awesome. And it's up there now, and like it goes through like 2 weeks of like collecting data and stuff like that. But it hasn't earned one thing yet, like not one inkling of anything yet. I'm trying to figure out, like, am I missing something? Is something not set up right? Because the setup process is 10 times easier now. You just literally go through the app, click, what direction it is, where it's located, done. But it hasn't earned anything yet. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what am I missing? Because even my like IoT 8 dB antenna unit that I have for my Helium original setup is still earning a little bit each day. And so trying to figure out what's going on with that, but haven't had the time, so I haven't dug into that too much yet to figure out what's going on. So maybe Crypto Jar is still here. If he is, please give me more information as to what I'm missing, because I didn't follow along with it close enough, unfortunately, at this point in time with the helium stuff. But okay, I was just curious on like what other stuff Max Voltage was into other than AI rig rentals in that regard. So for now, sounds like you're on a good path at this point. Do you have what's your next move, I guess? Like what's Max's next move? Like is it new hardware? Is it more hardware? Is it consolidating? Is it buying more? Like what's the next move for Max Voltage?
So honestly, right now, my next move is trying to do as much as I can in the next 9 days before I have to go back to work. That's what my focus is. So right now, my plan today is to record a salad video, which I've been talking about for a while. I need to record that, get it edited, get it out hopefully by tomorrow. And the other thing is I got to get out the updated Vast installer, which will be 24.04. And there's a lot of good it fixes a bug that's in the current install that somehow got introduced with one of the versions, where anybody who has used the installer recently, at the very end, it shows that there's like a history error. And all you have to do is rerun the Vast install command and you're good. It's a really easy workaround.
The wget command?
Yes, the wget command. So it's a really easy workaround. It's just annoying as hell. So Joker on Saturday, while I was live streaming, actually ran it. And he's like, yeah, I finished it in less than 15 minutes. So he's already tested it. It works. So I just got to package it up. I'm going to change some things around with the way it's packaged originally. So I have it. There's a lot of things I need to do, but in fact, that reminds me, I also got to check. I'm moving my website from Bluehost to Cloudflare in order to save money. So I started that process yesterday. Today, hopefully, Cloudflare will move to the next step where it recognized that I moved the name servers, and that way I could then go to the final step and do the auth to move the domain, which takes about 7 to 10 days, something like that. So
what does that cost for you on Cloudflare, like per month, give or take? Like
Cloudflare it's free, but then you have to pay for the it's like $69, I think, for the actual .tech domain. That particular domain is expensive, rather than like just a simple .com or a .net. So, but the actual website itself has more functionality for what I'm doing. I had originally gotten a WordPress hosting package, and I was like, WordPress to me, with how the tools that they had, were a major pain in the butt. They were not making it easier. So then, of course, I just went to Claude and said, hey, can you build me a website with this in mind? Here's my current website. Do a similar type of color, type of site. And what we see now is what we iterated to get to. And I'm really, really happy with it. It's a simple, HTML website, but I don't need anything more than that. So anyway, so that's one of the things I'm working on. What was the other thing I was mentioning? That was the other thing. So right now I have a file server on a Pi, and there's been some delays with some people downloading from it, which I don't know exactly why. I do know that the way I have it running right now is that there is a watermark on it, meaning that every single time that somebody downloads it is slightly different, so that if somebody decides they're going to steal what I've done. But I started looking at that. I'm like, you know what? I don't have time. If somebody's going to steal it, they're going to steal it, or they're going to replicate it. It's not that hard to replicate. If you really are that determined to do it. So I was just like, I'm just going to take that out. So I'm going to make it much more simpler. And then once I have the new site, it will download directly from the new site, and I won't have to have the file server here, which means things will download much simpler and much faster. And obviously, if my Pi ever goes down, which it has a few times, maybe in the last month and a half, I think it's gone down twice. So
Okay.
it's reliable, but obviously not as reliable as if I was doing it directly from Cloudflare. So there'll be that improvement. So yeah, I've got a couple little projects I'm working on, but kind of trying to finalize as much as I can. So when I go back to work, I'm not, I don't want to be distracted when I'm at work. I want everything to be in a good place. That now I only have to do things at night and on the weekends.
Which would be nice. Be
Yes.
convenient. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like it. Oops to Boogie in chat says you must connect your Helium phone to the Wi-Fi to earn now. Interesting. Do me a favor, shoot me a DM on Discord with more information on that. I feel like I remember that from like forever ago. And I feel like there were ways that you could like get a Helium, because Helium is a cell phone provider now. They piggyback off of other cell networks, but then they utilize it. I thought that was the case for a little while, where like you could get what was it, the little cards, the SIM cards, and swap them, or dual SIM, and that allows you to do it, and that you could do it once and super cheap, and you only had to do it one time. Yeah, let me know if you know more on that. I maybe you're onto something here, and that's why I'm kind of stuck at where I am right now. You almost have to like jumpstart it, which is good. KE5 says, does your camera make you look like a bobblehead, or is it just your head that big? I don't know. I think it's just this big to fit in all this brain power, but I'm not sure. Not 100% positive there.
Hey,
Which is
in
good.
defense, it's not that his head is that big. It's the fact that his collar is like really tight. There's like, you can see there's like no neck, which is gonna, if I did this, I would make myself look like a bobblehead too. So he just has a really good neck on his shirt.
That's those new shirts. That's right.
That's
That's
right.
those new shirts on the channel. 100%.
It's a feature. It's a feature.
Right. No one wants that sagging collar. Come on now. That
Yeah, I mean,
drives me
that's
nuts.
what mine's doing right now. But yeah.
I'm like, time to throw that stuff away. I'm like, nope. I buy such cheap shirts from like Target and stuff like that. I don't spend buku bucks on shirts, other than ones like this, in that regard, which is really, really good. Well, guys, listen, we're gonna wrap things up. I am gonna put a link in chat to the giveaway that we were talking about. There's a giveaway running right now on Twitter for my channel for a 5070 Ti. So go over there and enter into that giveaway. It's been blowing up right now, which is awesome. For Max, if people don't go ahead and subscribe to you yet, where can people check you out? What will they find if they do subscribe to your channel?
If you subscribe to my channel, you'll find a little bit of content. No, I'm working on getting more content, but it's content that's all about GPU rental, and it's all about operation of that, whether it be trying to save money on your power, airflow, all that kind of stuff is what I'm covering on my channel. I know I've had some feedback basically saying, hey, can you do more Pearl content and all of this? And I'm like, I'll do a little bit as it relates to GPU rentals, but some of the things that people that are like, hey, can you do more content on security coins and things like that? Like, no, that's definitely definitely not the direction I'm going. And then of course you can find information at maxvoltage.tech. That's my website. And that's where you can actually purchase the Vast.AI auto installer, which covers both not just installing Vast, but also installing the Ubuntu. So you basically take the ISO file, put it over on Belen Etcher, over to a USB drive. You stick it in, you boot up your computer, and as long as it boots up from the USB drive first, you literally walk away and go get a coffee. And when you come back, hopefully it's shut off. It's already loaded. And then all you have to do then is move through the next step of doing the vast-setup.sh file. And now with the new version, it's going to have an HTML instruction guide, meaning that you have all the tabs step by step with checkboxes of all the things you need to do and the steps you need to take while you're going through all this. So it'll go through BIOS instructions. What do you need to change in your BIOS before you even start the process? And like I said, go through everything, how to set up the vast-setup.sh file. What do you need to change within that file? How do you change it? How do you open it? What do you open it with? How do you transfer it from your computer over to the machine?
That's cool.
All of these things are covered in that instruction guide.
Yeah, this is cool. I was just over on your site now, checking it out. Looks good. I haven't seen it in a while, so well done over there.
Oh, and as you can see, up at the very top in the middle, If you want that free guide, all you have to do is put in your email. I'm developing an email list for newsletters in the future. And I don't know when I'm going to start it, but in the future.
That's cool.
But all you got to do is do that, and it'll get you that free guide.
That's cool. That's cool. Shout out in chat once again to the Mountain King, comes in with a donation tip for the special guest, Mr. Man. You know, you don't know that he still exists, but then he pops his head up every once in a while, which is absolutely awesome. Thanks for coming to hang out, brother. I do appreciate it. There was a question in chat about the new shirt. So for those of you guys not familiar, I'm going to hit back here. Let's see if I can go back. There it is. So every month we have a new shirt launch on the merch store. It's a variety of different things. These are all custom designs. So this is called Star Stripes and Sats. This is the newest one that just went ahead and released yesterday, actually. Usually we talk about it on today's live stream. Usually it's me. I don't usually have a guest. But yeah, go over and check it out. It's got the distressed American flag with the Bitcoin logo in there. And that is the June t-shirt as well. And so every month now, starting last month, we have a brand new t-shirt, custom designs that come out. So if you like it, awesome. If not, you can come over to the website and see what else is going on. This is last month's one. It's Freedom. This one is Freedom through Bitcoin. So go over and check it out. And then Max had brought up previously the other shirts, which are the Hobbyist Signature Collection. You can get one with a GPU or one with a ASIC as well, which is cool. So
why would you want one with an ASIC? Jeez.
Oh man, you know, he's coming in hot. He's coming in hot swinging. All right, guys, do appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me today. Do appreciate it. Max, thank you for being a guest today. We'll definitely have you back. Guys, everybody have a good rest of your day. And for myself and Max, we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.